Hello, hello, hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. This is going to be a group energy healing where I heal 150 people in 13 different countries. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. The theme for this whole month is courage, boldness, intuition, and self-nurturing. So courage, boldness, intuition, self-nurturing. So very yang meets yin. Let's get balanced and strong for the new year. That kind of idea. And this is the third healing in the set of 3. The January 2025 triplet set. And today will be really cool what we work on. I think there will be 3 main areas of what we do. So today, we'll do 3 main things, plus a lot of cool extras, of course. So we will repeat something we did 2 days ago, which was working to unblock meridian areas, like traditional Chinese medicine meridian areas, like all the meridians in the back. Not back of legs, but like torso back. And the auras behind it. And honestly, the unblocking the auras behind, it's like you scoop through the meridians and come back through all the auras and you look for like the biggest blocks that are healthy and gentle to get rid of. Those you work, and by doing those, you really open up pretty effectively all those meridians. So we didn't really like focus so much on each specific meridian. We just sort of did those all at once and healed them all at once. And then the combing through the aura, finding the major blocks and having the beings recycled in those blocks and melting cords from people into those blocks. And then so the blocks melt. That it's a really cool thing. And it helps with boundaries. It helps, of course, the flow of those meridians, which is huge. But then it's a boundaries thing. Because if you have good flow in your auras and in your meridians and your chakras, then you're very present. And so it's way harder for people to mess with you at that point. So it's like these meridian areas is a sort of a new aspect that for working wellness and boundaries. So like back meridians, and then we did chest meridians, and then we did which I could show you chest meridians. Well, I'll just discuss it first. So we did chest meridians as a meridian boundaries, a meridian area to work for boundaries. And we did front biker shorts meridians. So meridians around the thighs, crotch, stomach, that kind of idea, the front of your biker shorts. So those meridians, and of course combing through them and forward through the auras to find the bigger energy blocks, and then working to melt those, recycling the invasive beings hooked into them, melting cords, going into these blocks, and then melting the blocks, and then that opens up a lot the meridians in question. The in that case the front biker shorts meridians. So anyway, that's unblocking meridian areas, including the auras in front of them. To help boundaries and overall everything, because it helps all the meridians and the points. So we had done back meridians for last month as well, but the chest meridians and the front biker shorts meridians areas, that was new. So we'll repeat that. I think that helped a lot. So that's one area, is unblocking the meridian areas, including the auras in front of them. So I'll just change the banner, but we already did that one. So it's just for me later when I make notes. So that's what I just talked about, unblocking meridian areas that we did 2 days ago in the second healing of the set, and we will repeat today. Usually when I do it on repeat, I'm more concise in my descriptions, which I like better. I tend to like it better the second time around. Okay, so then the next thing we'll do is an easy one to explain is at the liver meridian. So the liver meridian is in your physical body, one of the 12 main traditional Chinese medicine meridians. And the angels have been nudging for me to work it in this set like for days now. And I've been kind of not getting the memo. Like I thought it was just me being drawn to that meridian for personal reasons. But finally this morning I like realized, oh, okay, I get it. I'm supposed to do it in this set. So we're gonna do the liver meridian points, and in the same way though, like we'll comb through them, but we'll also find energy blocks that affect the liver meridians in that area, and then clear the blocks, and that does a great job in opening up the meridians. Because if you only work the blocks within those points along the meridian, it's just not as effective. It like takes longer, and it's almost like a tug of war kind of thing. But then if you do the comb through them and outward towards, including your astral body aura and your physical body aura, and comb through, you tend to find like some kind of major block that's like, whoa, or a set of blocks that is impacting those meridians. And then you clear those and it's like, whoosh, all of a sudden it's like problem solved. So, and the reason that is because the meridians, the stuck energy creates boundary problems. It leads to boundary problems because it's easy for invasive beings and invasive people to cord blocked energy. So then they cord it and then go in from there, like a stepping stone. Boom, boom. So if you're just working the innermost part of that system, the energy's still coming in, like pressing on the blocks, and so it's hard. But if you get this significant stepping stone blocks, basically. I'm just not saying that every time that they're stepping stone blocks, because all blocks are stepping stone blocks. But, if you get that, then it's like that gets rid of, and you're in the process before you do it, you're having the beings recycled and melting the cores from the people, then it's like there's all of a sudden no pressure on the blocks that need to be cleared in the meridians. So it's much easier. Long story short. So, and I do have some good graphics all set up this time because sometimes when we'll work something new and like fumbling around for like 5 minutes getting my graphics straight, but knock on wood, I think my graphics are all good to go on the liver meridian. So, I could preview them just for a second. So, this is a yin yang house.com diagram. I do not have permission, but I don't think I need permission to just display their diagram as it is, because it says like no duplication or reprinting of this thing. But I'll probably email them anyway and be like, I'll show them the stream and I'll be like, did I just get in trouble? And hopefully they'll be like, yeah, we don't care about you. You're fine. So we'll see. But I'll email them. But anyway, their diagrams, I've said it before, their diagrams are awesome. So, but I do find their website a little hard to navigate. So I'll just go to Google, like google.com, and just Google, liver meridian diagram yin yang house. And it'll give me a link to go right to the liver meridian diagram on their website. But anyway, so good diagrams. YinYangHouse.com. But anyway, so Liver Meridian starts in the big toe. I'm sure they have a close-up image too that I didn't copy, but that I don't have here right now. But it starts in the big toe, the inner back corner of the big toe, the part that's more close to your body. But anyway, so then it goes up, and there are all these cool points, and it ends right there in the rib cage. The edge of the rib cage. There are 2 points right there. Let me move my image out of the way. So I'll make their thing bigger. I almost had the images ready, mostly ready. But anyway, so there are a lot of cool points. I mean, like right now you see a whole bunch of key and cool points there, you know, like these are the, you see the numbers right there. So 10, 11, 12, liver 10, 11, 12, right around the guy's, you know, anatomy right there. So those are pretty cool points to work. And like with all of them, you know, you comb through and outward through the astral body and physical body auras, find the key energy blocks that are causing the boundaries issues and, you know, sort of holding all that stagnation in place, and then get the blocks first. And that'll open up the actual little chakras faster. But anyway, so that's the liver meridian. And working the points feels, well, at least for me, it feels really cool. So hopefully those of you that feel things consciously in the moment will probably definitely enjoy it. And people that don't feel things consciously in the moment, don't feel bad. It still helps you a lot. Liver Meridian is cool. So long story short, Liver Meridian is cool. And we'll be healing it today. Da-da-da-da. And of course, I also have the video of it too, but the diagram is kind of cool because it's like, it's easy to position it to show the points I want to focus on at the time. Opposed to the video where I'm like trying to pause it right where I need it. So anyway, that's going to be cool. Liver. So that's the second main thing that we'll be doing today. The third main thing we'll be doing today okay, I don't know that I'm going to be able to fit all this. Let's see. Oh, great. Fifth layer blocks, clear hearing and thought distortions. Kind of hard to see that lettering. It's too close to my hoodie color again. Anyway, fifth layer blocks, clearing hearing and thought distortions. So I've been noticing throughout this set, like the angels keep showing it to me. So finally I got the picture and now we're going to do it in the healing. But not hearing people right causes a lot of conflict on a spirit level. Like a lot of the sort of whack fests that I see that my clients, you guys are involved in, they kind of start with hearing problems, hearing distortions. It's like the person will hear you wrong, and then telepathically on a spirit level, hearing distortions. Maybe not conscious hearing distortions, but I mean, you hear the words, but how you interpret the words and, you know, the inferred meanings that you draw from what they're saying, that's more of what I'm talking about when I say hearing distortions. So they'll communicate with you like, okay, if I look at, you know, rando client who's being whacked by somebody, initially the person that was whacking him said something on a telepathic level, and then telepathically, subconsciously, he misunderstood it and either didn't reply or replied in a way that was not satisfying to that person. And then it collided with their hearing distortions as well. And so then they got offended, and now they're whacking him for like 3 days straight. You know, so like these hearing distortions, like, okay, another example, this woman, you know, in her survey, she was like, well, you know, I talked to my mom and she said blah, blah, blah about, you know, I mentioned that, you know, I'll be moving from this part of the country to this part of the country, you know, and she made some comments, you know, right away about, well, you know, blah, 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 blah. And those comments were very triggering. And then, you know, her mom was like whacking her for like several hours after the phone call, right? And if my client didn't have the hearing distortions, she could have heard like what her mother was meaning to say. Because on the other side of the coin is communication distortion too. And we could work those two. It's the same thing, fifth layer. Fifth layer is hearing, nonverbal and conscious and out loud communication and hearing angels, intuition, all sorts of good stuff. So what my client's mom was really wanting to say on the deepest level is, I love you and I miss you, right? But that's not what she said. And she put a lot of judgment and kind of bossiness in what she said. So it's not just that my client, you know, has hearing distortions and she wildly misunderstood what was being said. I love you and I miss you was not actually said. There's a big communications distortion that her mother has, and she tends to say really controlling, judgy things when she means, I love you and I miss you. Which sucks, of course, you know, if you have a mom like that. But at least if you clear your hearing distortions, then your intuition isn't so blocked about it, and you can just remind yourself, yeah, that's how she expresses love, is she says really judging, controlling things. You know, and so it's easier to process. If you clear your hearing distortions, then you can, you know, be really sort of psychic about it and realize like, yeah, you know, that's her way of saying I love you. And then you don't get so offended, you know, and then, you know, you can reply to what she's really trying to say, you know, if you want, you know, rather than replying to what she really is saying, which, you know, is kind of triggering and inflammatory. So I hope that makes sense. So that's sort of the benefit. It's a big safety and boundaries benefit. And just obviously helps communication, but it may not, you know, completely fix, you know, all human relations on the planet or anything that you have, you know, but I think it can help safety, like I said, because maybe you can reply in a way that addresses what they really want to say, you know, because it's like they're smacking you in the face, but they think that they're saying I love you and I miss you, you know, and so then you're responding to their smack in the face, you know, and then of course they want to smack you more because, you know, what did you just say, you know? So we'll see how much it helps, but I think it'll cut down on the whack fest quite a bit, because then you don't really feel like whacking back, probably, because, you know, you could, it's more evident to you how conflicted they are internally, and you're just like, okay, that's a you thing, not a me thing. So I love that expression. That sounds like a you problem. That's a you problem, not a me problem. So anyway, so that's it's basically going to be fifth layer unblocking in the front and the back. And in the back, so in the front, it's like clearing hearing, thought, and communication distortions. But in the back, it's also interesting. The back of the fifth layer. Oh, that's so freaking hard to see. There we go. Thank goodness. My mind is at rest now. Anyway, okay. So in the back of your fifth layer, you can get these like significant blocks, like just whole island of like bonded up energy blocks based on like crap people have told you invasively, you know, so they've dropped it in your space like, you should have kids. Why don't you have children? You know, or something that you're just like, you are just not a fan of what just got dumped in your space. You tend to shove it in the back unless you clear it right away, which would be the ideal. But, you know, there can be these sort of like, you know, in the ocean, how they're like floating islands of garbage, unfortunately, in our oceans now, which is ridiculous. But, you know, a whole nother topic for another day, as they say. But anyway, you can have floating islands of garbage in the back of your fifth layer made up of invasive messages people have shoved in your space that you're like, oh my God, later for that, you know, and you just didn't clear it. So like, you know, you could have a whole island of garbage, you know, in the back of your fifth layer based on like messages just from your mother. And you can have actually, you know, if you have a particularly invasive and communicative mother, which many people do, then you might have multiple islands of floating garbage, you know, in the back of your fifth layer from your mother. But they tend to not be like composite. They'll be like one island from your birth father, your genetic father, your dad, whatever you call him. Then there'll be, you know, several islands from one of your siblings, and you know, so it's fun and cool to clear the stuff. It's, you know, it's like obnoxious stuff that people have put in your space that you were like, seriously? You went into resistance, you didn't clear it, you just shoved it back there. And the thing is, okay, so the benefit of that, it helps like brighten your communication with yourself and your own thoughts, because otherwise there's like this undertone of like insulting garbage all the time, and you're like weighing down your mind, which, you know, who wants that? But also that creates significant boundary issues in the back of your space to have these hardened, you know, floating islands of garbage, you know, and then it's like everything is less safe, you know, so that'll be good to clear. I am very fond of that image of floating islands of garbage. Energy blocks as major energy blocks as floating islands of garbage. That's cute. Cute. Thank you, angels. So that's the third major thing we'll do is fifth layer blocks, both in front and in back. Clear them. But we'll have fun with it. And then, of course, we'll do our essentials, because otherwise it would be stupid to leave them out. So we don't want to be stupid. So the 5 essentials, of course, grounding, aura repair, creative ring repair, chakra repair, and good karma windows work in the back, and flow zone, and base of skull points. Those are our 5 essentials. So that's all. Let's see how many hours that is. I am going to be, okay, let's see. I'm going to discuss this. Okay, chat guidelines for today. And what I mean is like the final chat. I should say that final chat. Final chat guidelines for today. Okay, So I'm always up for weather reports. I'm sure I have a couple weather reports already. I think they're fun. They're totally easy for me to read and quick. I think they're interesting because, like, isn't that amazing? In this lifetime, we can all listen to something like simultaneously, even if we're in countries like super far away. That's fascinating and fun. And we all have different weather because we're far away from each other, which is also cool. So that is always welcome. At the beginning chat, at the end chat, you know, whenever you have a second to jot down your weather and where you are, that's just cute, I think. But I know I'm an energy reader, and that's pretty cool, you know, and the more you work this stuff, then your ability to read your own energy in your own space, it does get better. I promise. Well, I can't promise that, but usually, in most cases, it gets better. Maybe not to the point of like you can read like me, you know, unless you've had the past lives I've already had, which adds up to, you know, honing your abilities, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But okay, so I get it. I'm a reader and a healer and a teacher, right? So it tends to be there's this term that I use, squeeze the leprechaun. And it's kind of like sometimes, you know, it's hard not to feel a little bit, you know, eager when you're in communication with a reader, you know, because you're like, oh my God, they could see anything. What can I ask? I want to ask them this and this and this. And oh my gosh, this is really cool, you know, and I get that, but I don't like being squeezed, you know, and so, but, you know, usually I have decent boundaries, but so there was a little bit of, it wasn't like squeeze the leprechaun. Like, so squeezing the leprechaun is like, so you catch the reader and you're like, okay, I have another question. I have another. So that's squeezing the leprechaun. Like leprechaun meaning, you know, I don't know, Irish folktale little spirits that are smart, I guess, and clever. I don't know. So it's like a play on, there used to be this commercial, for those that don't know, like Squeeze the Charmin. Like it was a toilet paper commercial, and allegedly this toilet paper was so soft that everyone in the store was squeezing it. And so the storekeeper went around going, don't squeeze the Charmin. You know, so whatever, it's a play on that, squeeze the leprechaun. But okay, so long story longer. I'm gonna just do like more of a time limit for the final chat, you know, after the healing. And and not only that, I'm going to read a question before I say it out loud, and I'm only gonna address questions that are actually about something that we did today. Like a topic that I discussed today, you know, like follow-up questions on the theme or the techniques, or a comment on how you feel now after the healing, which is a commentary on the healing itself. So only that kind of thing. And unless someone is new and I've literally never read them before, then, you know, they could do some quick comment. And if I have time, if it's not like a read my entire life story right now, please kind of question, you know, maybe I'll address it, you know, like I'm totally new and I followed along. Did it work, you know, or something, or could you check out my space? Yeah, something like that. And I'll just do a quick thing. If I've never read somebody before, I get it. It's exciting. You want to ask something. But everybody else that I've read like a gazillion times after these healings, if you really have a question, I mean, you just hand it to your angels. But then if you also still want to ask the question after the live stream is done, you could post it as a question under this video once it's a video. And then, you know, if I have time, when I have time, I'll look at your question and probably post a reply within a few weeks under your video comment. And video comments do help the videos. So, but, you know, I still reserve the right to refuse answering the question even later as a video comment. But the likelihood is much higher if it's just a posted question under the video. And if you do post a question and I don't know your first and last name from your YouTube ID, post your initials with the question. You know, your first initial and your last initial. You know, like if your name is Jane Darling, JD, are your initials, right? Because I read with names a lot more easily. Like if someone has some ambiguous, like, bursts of glory, YouTube name, that's not as easy for me to read the person. If I know their initials of bursts of glory is, GN, then that's easier for me. I can read that person better. Okay, so no squeeze the leprechaun questions today. Alrighty. That's that. Quick sales notes on my website, jwhealing.com. I put it up on the screen. You could purchase a set of healings so that I'm actually healing you during these live streams if you purchase the set of healings. And the next set of healings, which is this month's January twin set, is actually still for sale on my website. So you could purchase it if you want. And also the February sets are for sale on my website. The March sets will go up for sale on the 15th of this month because they go up 2 months ahead of time. So that's that. And I like working with people, including new people that I've never worked with before. So you're welcome to do it, to go for it. And you can also email me, if you're a viewer and or you've purchased a set and I don't know you, feel free to email me and just, first and last name, where you are in the world, just say hi. That's fine. Okay. All right. So I will do some chat comments right now, and I will not read life story kind of comments, but little fun things are welcome. Someone says, hello, Jen, I can see and hear you from Evergreen, Colorado. Thank you. 17 degrees and snowing. Well, some people like snow. I'm not a big fan. I mean, I'm okay with it if I know we don't have to go anywhere and it's going to melt before we have to go somewhere. Then I don't mind it. 17 degrees. That's quite nippy. So for those, so that was Fahrenheit. So we have people in different countries. So people are using different. So you could put F or C after your temperature if you want, just as a sort of deference to other people in the world who have the whole different system. It'd be nice if we were all in the same system. US needs to get its act together and go on centigrade. Anyway, so 17 Fahrenheit. Ugh, that's like negative, maybe negative 5 degrees Celsius. Oh, it's a little cold. Hey, Janet, I can see and hear you from windy Las Vegas. 58 degrees Fahrenheit. I would take that. I would definitely take that. So that is maybe 15 degrees Celsius-ish. Hey, Janet, we can see and hear you in Evanston, Illinois. I used to live in Evanston. I also lived in Chicago. More time I lived in Chicago, but I also lived in Evanston. And Dave's Rock Shop is in Evanston, and also a very nice rose garden is in Evanston. 25 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny. Cold and sunny in Chi-Town and its suburbs. Hey, Jen, I can see and hear you from me. Well, hello to me. Hello from Ottawa, Canada. 18 degrees Fahrenheit. Thank you for the F. Wind gusting 20 miles an hour. So that means the wind chill is insane. Oh my. I hope you are well and healthy and bundled up when you do your work outdoors. Someone says, hey, hello, Janet. Hello to you. Thank you for the bluebird emojis. That's cute. Someone says, so I'm doing walking meditation while you live stream. I'm pretty deep into the forest and the trees are pretty good wind boundaries. Isn't that cool? Yeah, our backyard is very good wind boundaries because we have these giant trees and it's like its own little microclimate back there. It's always less windy and cooler back there. In the summer, it's so much cooler. It's really kind of weird. Usually it's appreciated, but it is weird. Yeah, so trees do change the climate a lot when you're around them. You're around a lot of big trees. That's cool though. Hope you enjoy. Someone says, hi Janet, 57 Fahrenheit. And look at the cool weather emojis in Mendocino County, California. Well, that sounds cool. 57. I would take that. Fahrenheit. That's nice. This is, I'm excited about the Liver Meridian. Yeah, me too. Physically, my liver, as in liver Western Oregon, has challenges. Yeah. It's interesting. You know, I never explained that, but yeah, the Western organs of like, you know, like, okay, if you dissect somebody and you lift out something and you're like, this is the liver. That's different. I mean, it's not up here. It's down here. But that's different than what traditional Chinese medicine means when they say the liver organ. For them, the liver organ is non-physical and it has like a whole bunch of different functions. And so they're not talking about like dissection-based literal. Sometimes it's related, you know, but I mean, it's usually probably related, but there's a lot more to it than that. Maybe that's a good way of thinking about it. But anyway, so, but it might help the actual liver, physical liver. I'm not sure if it will. We can find out. Physically, my liver has challenges. I'm curious to see if it helps the actual liver as well. Yeah, we'll see. The actual Western physical liver organ, Western organ of the liver. This is hi, hello to you. Thanks for the pretty emojis. This is, I can definitely relate to having hearing distortions. Yes. It's interesting, you know, because probably most people have hearing distortions, but a lot of people don't realize they do. So at least you realize it. That's the first step. Relate to having hearing distortions. Each time I talk to my mom, I usually perceive her as a tormentor. There's also pain dumping for sure. Yeah. Yeah, so that should be interesting to clear the distortions and plus she's getting these healings too, so that should be interesting. See if it has any effect on her. Clearing her communication distortions. Yeah, should be interesting. So it'd be interesting to see, you know, when we clear all that and you're communicating with someone who has not gotten one of the healings, they'll still help you, you know, but it'll be interesting in the situations where like both people got the healing, see like how things shift as they communicate. But that the one of the bigger reasons, I mean, there's so many reasons to clear communications distortions and hearing distortions and all that. But like I said, one of the biggest reasons was to cut down on whacking, because if people feel like they're understood, everybody, that's like a really fundamental desire to be understood. And I think a lot of people that whack, obviously they have a very violent reaction to not being understood, which is unfortunate. But one of the root causes of what triggered them so much is they felt like they weren't being understood. So if you get rid of your hearing distortions, even if they have communications distortions, then you would be able to hopefully know intuitively what they really meant. And maybe on some like spirit level reply, if not out loud, reply to what they really meant, you know, and that might sort of scratch that itch for them, and then they won't get violent. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Fun times. All right. So I think I'll show the moving water while I do my 3 minutes of quiet, so that if you did want any exciting visuals to look at, you have it. So the 3 minutes of quiet is just where I finish my prep and finally stop talking for 3 glorious minutes of silence. 3 minutes of glorious silence. 3 minutes of fabulous silence, after which I will start the healing. And the whole time when I'm doing the healing, I do talk out loud and say what I'm doing as I do it. So it is an all levels walkthrough that you could use to heal yourself if you feel like it. All right, now for the quiet. Okay, so let's do this. Unblock your hands. We're gonna unblock your hands and your forearms, so from like the elbows forward. Right? So you have hand chakras. That's what we're going to be using to generate a lot of energy, a lot of gold light. So you have big hand chakra in the palm of each hand and a chakra in each fingertip. And you set those specific chakras, your hand chakras and your fingertip chakras, to be a metallic gold color, like this glitter. And you just do that with your thought or your intention. You don't have to be able to see energy or anything. Just do it. Just do it. And set those to a metallic gold color. And therefore, as they're spinning and generating energy, that's the color that they're generating. And then you use that gold light to unblock your hands. I have actually a really cool image of unblocking and using your hand chakras and arms. And it's actually at the front. It's the cover of a comic book. Because my husband he's like an expert in comic books, and he has this review channel, comic book review channel, on YouTube, and which is called Indie Comics and Reviews, I think. Yeah, Indie Comics and Reviews. Lorenzo, if that's not it, post a comment so everyone can see your. Yeah, go ahead and post a comment, Lorenzo. We'll see if that's a test. See if he's still listening to my live stream. But anyway, this cover is maybe he's not listening. This cover is shows I really like it because it shows kind of like, you know, hand chakras, sort of. I mean, it doesn't exactly, but it's a cool image about, like, you know, juicing up your hand chakras, getting ready to heal yourself, you know. What'd you say? Yeah, but post a comment so people can see your YouTube channel. Anyway, so this cover is a DC comic book, Black Adam. It says Black Adam 3, so I don't know if that's like the 3rd issue or something, or it's just the number of, it's a different cover. I don't know. Lorenzo, post how they can find this one. I mean, I know that there's that mycomicshop.com one, that website, but like, what would they search for? Black Adam or Black Adam what? Like, what cover is this? So they can pull it up. But anyway, how cool is that, right? So that, for me, that's just like an image of like badass, you know, energy healer. Rah! Yeah. Get those forearms ready to heal yourself. So anyway, let's do that part. So just use gold light and unblock. You don't really have to have, you know, like lightning coming out and everything and a lightning bolt in your chest. That's, you know, it's just an artistic image, but I kind of like that. It just reminds me of, you know, having a lot of power that you generate through your hand chakras and your fingertip chakras. But you could, you know, have like gold fire, you know, throughout your forearms, you know, from your elbows to your fingertips, just yeah. But anyway, so okay, so that's, I think we're done. But I'm gonna do that as a healer for everybody, you know. So you could do it as a copy on yourself if you want, but it's kind of fun to do it this way if you want to. But I'm gonna do that for the people I'm healing. I'm gonna unblock from elbows to fingertips. So probably my husband's in the middle of something, so he was not able to post that. So I'll post it below later if you want to purchase that comic book cover, how and what it's called and stuff. So if he doesn't end up posting it during the live stream, I'll post it underneath the video later. So anyway, there you go. And you could have hardness like binding your forearms, like compressing them. So you know, as always, when you're healing a body part, heal the auras around it and just check, do you have like compressed energy around it, and melt that away. Because just like is implied in this image, the strength as a healer comes from the flow of energy, not hardness, right? There's all that flow right there. Energy's flowing. Okay, yay, my husband posted. Yay. So yeah, you can see in the chat, that's Indie Comics and Reviews. That's his channel. It says, yes, it's Black Adam #3. It came out about 2 years ago and it's available at most places that sell comics. Oh, please. Yeah, like everyone has a comic book store they go to all the time. Just post where they can buy it online, please. Yeah, you should support your local comic shop if you even have one and know where it is. But yeah, just Lorenzo, if you could just post the the words they would use to search for it on like mycomicshop.com and post a link to mycomicshop.com. Pretty please. Pretty please. Here, I'm giving him work to do. But anyway, okay, so now you're ready, right? All your gold light. Okay, cool. So now, next. Okay, so now recreate your groundings. You have 2 groundings, one for your astral body energy, your astral body and your astral body aura, and one for your physical body and your physical body aura. So just you can get rid of the old ones, make brand new ones, red or orange or yellow, both the same color, big and wide all the way down to the core of the earth. And just think of you're a powerful self-healer, right? So you want to have a powerful set of groundings for yourself. Right? And then just create copies out in front of you of the groundings that you just made and comb through them with gold light from your powerful hands. Indie grounding is where you check the outer surface of your groundings all the way down to the core of the earth and use gold light from your hands to melt away any attachments to other people, any hard objects stuck in there. Just melt them away with gold light from your powerful hands. If you missed it and you went straight to grounding, you missed a fun unblocking of the forearms, so you can catch it later. We did right before the grounding. All right. Great job. Okay, so you have a lot of auras, and one is your physical body aura, one's your astral body aura, and then you have 15 Wei Qi auras, WEI space CHI, Wei Qi. Wei Qi is strong boundaries energy, basically. And it's a part of you as a spirit, but it really helps your body as well to be safe and nourished. So you can just imagine all those 17 auras out in front of you, a copy of them. And so it's kind of like a big bubble, but it's really 17 bubbles. And just comb through it and check for aura damage, check for rips, gashes. The problem with rips is that, well, your energy leaks out, so then your aura isn't like this self-contained, nice, flowy thing. It's leaking, and those leaks attract invasive beings and invasive people, and it's just a mess. So we don't want leaks. We don't want rips. So now we're going to repair them. So we use composite copy technique. So you make an image of a rip. It can look like like this if you want. And you make an image of that rip, and with your intention, you say to yourself, okay, well, this represents all the rips in my 17 auras. And then as you repair this composite copy, you're repairing all the rips. So you want to clean out the rip first, because the rips attract a lot of junk and invasive beings and invasive people. And then there were the hard objects that made the rip in the first place. They could still be stuck there. You want to get all that junk out so that the repair works really well. So fill it up with sticky gold wax from your hands. And that's with your intention, it's sticky gold wax. It's gold light from your hands, but it sticks to everything that's not you and forms a hard lump. So it's easy to lift it all out at once. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, lift out the junk. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. And maybe there's some leftover hard objects, so do it again. Sticky gold wax, have it stick to all the hard objects and everything else. Lift that out. Angels, here you go. So then now you should be able to get the gold light really deep in there. Get that repair started. All right, good job. So that probably repaired most of the rips, but you may have one or two leftovers. So we'll do the process again for just the leftover rips. All right, so make a new composite copy rip and have it represent the leftover rips, and do the same thing. Sticky gold wax, lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, lift the junk. Angels, here you go. You can also say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this repair, can you please recycle them? All right, then get the gold light really deep in there. All right, good job. So then you could have some leftover hardness in your auras, like maybe some patches in different aura layers in the same spot, or like around the outer surface of your auras. So pile up copies of all your aura hardness, because hardness creates boundary issues and weakens your aura. So pile up copies of all your aura hardness out in front of you and take your time and melt it away. You can say to angels, if there are any invasive beings connected to this aura hardness, can you please recycle them? That should make it a lot less dramatic to clear the blocks. And melt people's cords out of these energy blocks. Again, you can say, if there are any angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this process, can you please recycle them? And if any of the blocks, the hardness left over in your auras is not clearing, you can just give it to your angels and ask for help. Angels, can you help me with this? All right, good job, good job. So you can redo your gold buffer zones. So, and aura repair is its own 5-minute little standalone video. There's a current one made from one of last month's aura repair walkthroughs. So that's a 5-minute video located in the short video playlist on YouTube, which is now featured on my YouTube page. The playlist, short videos of 2024 and 2025. If you go to my YouTube channel, you know, that homepage on YouTube, so my channel page on YouTube. If you scroll down enough, it'll say short videos and you'll see all of them. And aura repair is one of them, if you like the short videos. All right, so now we'll do one that's also a short video, which is repairing your creative rings. So this is also a short video, repairing your creative rings, which are right up here, 3 gold rings, 1, 2, 3, and unblocking them, and then also unblocking the chakras, all the major chakras along the spine, 7 astral and 7 physical. And then there'll be a separate chapter for repairing all your. So right now, let's start with the creative rings. Make a copy out in front of you of 3 gold creative rings, like they're right here, 1, 2, 3. But just make a copy out in front of you, and you want to wash them out with gold light, melt the cords going into them, and melt any hardness around them. There could be damage, like broken places that are broken or cracked. So use lots of gold light to repair that. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with my creative rings, can you please recycle them? You can't see energy. How do you do this, right? Because you're like, well, Janet, I don't know which parts are cracked. Like, what the heck? You know, I can't see anything. Well, fine. But what you could do is change the copy so that it's not just the 3 creative rings. It's like the part of your creative rings that's the most damaged. So then you just heal the part that's right in front of you, because with your intention, you just made a copy of the most damaged parts of the most damaged part of your creative rings. So just repair what's in front of you. So that's how you get around not being able to see. There are a lot of workarounds for not being able to see. Because as I always say, vision usually opens up with time. Not always, but many, many times. People's clairvoyance gets better the more they do this kind of work, because they're more present, so they use their chakras more. So then you can change your copy back to being the entire creative rings if you want. And you want to melt the flaps. You want to melt cords going into your creative rings so that the flaps relax and fall shut. So this is an image of the flaps when they're sticking out and irritated. Right? So you don't want that. You want just like a nice smooth round surface of the creative rings, right? That's a top-down view of a creative ring. So just keep melting the cords so that there's nothing to irritate the creative ring. Cords irritate the creative rings when they're sending energy from somebody else in. It's like not fun. So melt the cord so that the flaps can relax and fall shut, which then makes it harder for other people to cord. Okay, so that's good enough. So now we'll do the unblocking of the 7 chakras in addition to the creative rings. So you just imagine a different copy of, you know, creative rings, 1, 2, 3, and then your 7 chakras, 7 astral and 7 physical. Imagine, to the extent that is currently real, you imagine your astral chakras in your physical chakras. You know, so say if you're like moderately present, maybe for a client of mine would be you're in 7 through 3. That's pretty present for just the general public. Present in 7 through 3. But so that means your astral 7th is in your physical 7th, your astral 6th is in your physical 6th, all the way down to your astral 3rd is in your physical 3rd chakra, right? They fit inside. But if you're fully present, then your astral 2nd fits inside your physical 2nd well, currently at this moment, and your physical 1st chakra, your astral 1st chakra fits inside your physical 1st chakra at this moment. So you don't have to worry about it, but you can just kind of sense, you know, okay, which ones are fitting in and which ones are out. And it's not like you can't skip over one. So it's not like I'm in my 7th, not in my 6th, and I'm in my 5th. That's not how it works. It's like a zipper. So if you're not in one of them, you can't be in the ones beneath it. So so just unblock. You can use sticky gold wax if you want, or just gold light, whatever floats your boat. But just melt away the blocks in your creative rings and all your 7 chakras of astral and physical body. The more you unblock, the more it is easy to be in your chakras, and the better they work. And the more comfortable you are, typically. And if this isn't like unblocking well, like your chakras, we're going to do chakra repair right after this. So don't worry. It could be just that a couple of them are damaged, and that's why it's not like as fabulous as you think it should be. But since we were doing creative rings, it's nice to kind of unblock them all at once. And so you can move out the blocks, angels, here you go. Move out the blocks, angels, here you go. So again, intention throughout any healing, I would suggest, is keep your intention to be that you're healing and clearing only what's healthy and gentle to do right now. So move out the blocks, angels, here you go. You can use sticky gold wax to have the wax stick to the blocks and then move them out. Angels, here you go. Or you just do it with your intention. You know, move out the blocks all at once. Angels, here you go. All right, good enough. Woohoo! Woohoo! Good job. Can't resist the little gold confetti. Love that. Okay, so we're just going to keep it simple, do all chakra repair all at once. Why not? And we'll move on to other fabulous things. So this is the basic chakra shape, an open cylinder. The size and color vary depending on where the chakra is and what you set it to, what color you set it to. But just make a copy out in front of you of a similar shape, and just with your intention be like, okay, well, this represents all my chakras. So chakras before and after my knees, you know, my acupuncture chakras, all my major chakras, every chakra I have of my body and my spirit, right? Just have your composite copy. represent all of your chakras so that then you can repair and unblock them all at once. I just use gold light and melt away cords. Typically you'll have pairs of cords. So like if Betty Boop is cording you, it can look like one cord, but technically if you like zoom in and have really good detail, it would be a pair of cords from Betty Boop on opposite locations in the chakra opening, typically. And they can cord either end of the chakra. How do they cord the chakra? Well, if the chakra is damaged or if there's a bunch of energy blocks there, they can cord damaged areas and they can cord stuck energy easily. Then we melt cords, melt blocks, get the flow going. You want your chakras to feel free and powerful, not like, you know, cramped and stuck. That's my human impression of an unblocked chakra. Yeah! So you can scoop out the energy blocks, like put your energy, you put your hands through the chakra itself, the copy of the chakra, the composite copy, and just drag out the blocks and just melt them in your hands. Drag out the blocks and just melt them in your Drag out the blocks, melt them in your hands, or blow them up. Drag out the blocks, melt them away with gold light. Drag out the blocks in your chakras, melt them away with gold light. Drag out the blocks. You can give them to your angels. Angels, can you help me with these? You can say too, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with any of these chakras, can you please recycle those invasive beings? And you can comb outward, you know, around the round openings, find any energy blocks there that are in the way of the flow. Melt those away. And our theme is courage, boldness, intuition, and self-nurturing. So, we could just do specialized unblocking to help the theme of courage, boldness, intuition, and self-nurturing. So any energy blocks in any of your chakras that are in the way of you improving fabulously and gloriously with the theme, just lift out the blocks in the way. Lift out the blocks in the way and melt them away with gold light. Lift out the blocks to the extent that's healthy and gentle to do right now, of course. But just, you know, from all your chakras, just lift out the blocks in the way of the theme, courage, boldness, intuition, and self-nurturing, and just melt those blocks or blow them up. So lift out the blocks in the way of courage, boldness, self-nurturing, and intuition from your chakras. Melt them away. Lift out the blocks. Melt them away. Then you want the flaps around the round openings to relax and fall shut. So you have to unblock and melt cords enough so that they do that. All right, good enough. Woohoo! So you can let go of that copy, explode it. Good job, good job. That was unblocking all your chakras at one time, major and minor chakras of your body and spirit, just in general, and also to help the theme of courage, boldness, intuition, and self-nurturing. Woohoo! Woohoo! Good job, good job. Okie dokie. So now, let's do, oops, use the headache. Okay. So, what we're working right now is back here and in and around the physical neck. So back here in both auras and in and around the physical neck. So, so we'll start with good karma windows. So those are back here, behind the base of skull and the back of the neck. They're in the astral body aura, actual windows in one in each. They're triple frame windows, one in each layer of your astral body aura. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And a triple frame window looks like this drawing, although it's smaller than that in size. And so just imagine them all and run gold light through them. You want to repair them, melt any hard objects stuck in them, melt any energy cords going to them from people. For the invasive beings, it's more efficient just to have the beings recycled, so they're not around to bug you anymore. So you can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with my good karma windows, can you please recycle them? And you can do sort of an intuitive test with your good karma windows to see, like, is the bad stuff getting through or only the good stuff? Because if the bad stuff is getting through, chances are the good stuff is not getting through. So what's the bad stuff? Invasive beings, invasive people. What's the good stuff? A gentle energy from the moon and the stars, light, small amount of it. Good karma energy, your new energy that you're trying to bring in that you don't want to bring in this way or this way, bring it in that way. So just check these windows intuitively, like 7. Okay, in the 7th window, is the good stuff getting through? No. Is it because the bad stuff is getting through and it's damaged, or is it just blocked? And just, if the good stuff isn't getting through, then you need to work on it, right? So just keep healing it to your intuition is like, okay, yeah, the good stuff is getting through. But it can only get through the 7th, right? If the others are messed up. So then check the 6th window. Is the good stuff getting through? Yes. So it doesn't need much work then. The good stuff is getting through already. So 5th window, is the good stuff getting through? No. So then keep working the 5th window. Unblock it, repair it more. Maybe there are some invasive beings connecting to it. You say, angels, are there any invasive beings connected to any of this? Can you please recycle them? So 5th window, is the good stuff getting through? Yes. 4th window, is the good stuff getting through? Yes. 3rd window, is the good stuff getting through? No. So then if that's the case, just work on windows, the 3rd window, but you can work on 2 and 1 while you're at it. So 3rd good karma window in the 3rd astral body aura layer, and then 2nd good karma window and first good. All right, is the good stuff getting through the third good karma window? Yes. Is the good stuff getting through the second good karma window? No. Yes. Yes. Okay, so now all the good karma windows, the good stuff's getting through, which means the bad stuff is not getting through. So that's fabulous. You can also lift energy blocks in and around the good karma windows all at once, lift them out, and you could blow them up or melt them with gold light. Lift out the blocks around the good karma windows, melt them with gold light. Breathe into everything just to adjust after that. Okay, so flow zone is in that same area, but it's simpler because there's no windows. And so it's not an avenue for you to bring in your energy. It's just a place that should be flowing and unblocked so that you're safe and it can do its job to protect, the chakras and meridians here. So flow zone, that's why the name is that way. It's just supposed to flow. So you find the blocks there that are blocking the flow and melt them away. And a lot of times the biggest block in the flow zone is like right behind, and again, the flow zone is in the physical body aura, not the astral body aura. We just did the astral body aura. Now we're doing the physical body aura. Flow zone is back here, in the physical body aura, behind the base of skull, behind the neck, and also includes in and around the physical neck. So, and I like to show this little diagram for it sometimes, right there. So physical body right behind the neck. Sometimes there's a giant block right there. So you can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this blocked energy, can you please recycle them? And then melt cords from people going into this big chunk of blocked energy. And then you can melt the block itself. So around your neck and in your neck, just imagine any blocked energy there and melt it away with gold light. And if you see a blocked energy in and around your neck that's not melting, again, just say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this blocked energy, can you please recycle them? Take a deep breath. And then just melt away cords going into the blocked energy. And then cords from people. And then just keep melting the block. So just check, is your flow zone flowing? And I'm combing it outward this way, but that's just because I want to get that whole area and I want my hand to kind of collide with the blocks, and so I notice them and so I melt them away. But the flow in these aura layers is, it doesn't go out like that right there. Actually the fifth chakra, that flow goes out to the fifth layer and then wraps all around. But each layer, like the seventh chakra, the energy goes up here and then goes down. So the flow in each aura layer goes in different ways depending on the chakra, but sorry about that. You're unblocking that area. You're unblocking the flow zone. All right, awesome. And then the back of skull points. Oops, that's not the one I want. Base of skull points. There we go. Okay. So base of skull points. I should yeah, I should enlarge this. Can't. There we go, baby. Look at that. Up in my game here. There we go. I get excited about little things. I don't think I need that right there. Okay, so base of skull points. That's these, if they form basically a horizontal, two horizontal lines, one at the height of the top of the earlobe and one at the height of the bottom of the earlobe. So all those are base of skull points. So comb through them, comb through the meridians. And the points, they're chakras, right? Those are acupuncture points, which are minor chakras. And this is the basic chakra shape, an open cylinder. So in this case, those, the acupuncture points, they fit fully inside the meridian, and their job is to keep the energy flowing within the meridian. As opposed to major chakras, they shoot energy, outward to the aura layer that is connected to it. But the meridians is different. The energy gets sent along the meridian, depending on which is the direction of flow. It could be downward, it could be upward. So anyway, so these meridians that you see at the base of skull area, they either go downward in the case of that blue-green one on the outside, the gallbladder one, and downward in the case of the yellow line there, the urinary bladder meridian, or they go upward in the case of the midline one there, the governing vessel meridian that goes upward. But the chakra orientation is this way, right? Because it fits inside the meridian. The chakra orientation right there where we're working is that way. So anyway, just use gold light. You want the meridians to be red flowy tubes, not blackened or hard. And comb through those meridians and back. So you're combing through the meridians and back through the astral body aura and physical body aura just to find like there's any giant plate of hard energy, and that you want to work that, because if you can end up melting that plate of hard energy, then the flow opens up much better, as I explained in the intro discussion. Anyway, so comb through the base of skull points and outward to find any big plates of energy stuck, energy blocks in your astral or physical body aura. And then once you find like a big plate of energy, hard stuck energy behind your base of skull points, just say, angels, can you can you recycle any invasive beings that are connected to these blocks? Just take a deep breath, and then melt cords from people that are hooked into these blocks. And then melt the blocks or blow them up. And if you need inspiration on blowing up blocks, I can supply that, potentially. So you imagine the blocks, that plate, a hard plate of energy behind your base of skull points. Imagine it a bit like this drawing, the hardened energy that you're seeing right now in this image. And you find the blocks behind your base of skull points. You say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings connected to this junk? And then you use gold light and melt the cords from people going into the blocks, right? And then you keep using gold light, and you get ready, and you can melt it gradually or melt them all at once, or explode them all at once like that. Right? So there's your inspiration for forceful energy clearing within your space. So again, you could just comb through the points, a base of skull points, comb outward to find through the auras to find hard plates of energy. And then again, you know, angels can recycle any beings hooked into these plates of energy. And then melt cords from people going into them. And then just, you could, if you're healing yourself, you could blow them all up at once, just like that video. Or you can melt them with cold. Ah! Okay, good job. Good job, good job, good job. Woohoo! Yay! Good job. All right. What fun things will we do next? Okay. Liver Meridian. Let's do that next. Shall we? Yeah. Hold on one sec. La, 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 la. That's interesting. Mm. Let's see. I guess first I'll show the video. You get a sense of it. So your liver meridian starts right there, right? See where it started? It starts, it's that green line, the fabulous green line. What color is that? Kelly green, maybe? bright green line. It starts right there in the big, next to the toenail and the big toe, right? The sort of the corner of it that's back and inner corner. So that's right where that white is. Unfortunately, white, you know, I would appreciate if the moving dot was red and not white, but you know, can't have everything, can we? I didn't make these videos. So, but that's liver 1 right there where that flash is showing the liver 1 point. So that's the first point in the liver meridian. So we're going to spend extra time on that one. But all these ones on the foot, they're pretty cool. So we're going to look for energy blocks on all of them and unblock them by combing through them and outward to the auras and finding the blocks and, you know, making those blocks destroy. So then the points in the liver meridian open up more efficiently, more quickly. So anyway, so that's liver 1, liver 2, liver 3, liver 4, liver 5, liver 6, liver 7, liver 8, 9, 10, liver 12, 13, 14, 15. Maybe my count's messed up. But good news, we have a diagram that will clear up the confusion that I just created. So how many points are there really? 14. Yeah. So somewhere I miscounted. But there are 3 right by the crotch. See, that's why I love these diagrams, because they're so straightforward, and like it's really nice to see. I think sometimes it could be more clear than the video. I mean, the video, you get the motion of it, which is good. And if you already know the points, that's fine. But sometimes the points, it's just more clear to look at a diagram too. So this diagram, as I said in the intro, is directly taken from a website called Yin Yang House, which is not my website, yinyanghouse.com. And I will email them to let them know what I'm doing with their images to see if I'm in trouble or not by including them in my live streams. We'll see. Just because their images are so cool and useful. So anyway, so liver 1, 2, 3 right there at the foot, and then 4. So that's 4 is in the ankle. See? So then 5, 6 is in the lower leg. 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, and 9. I always love when acupuncture points, like several of them, are closer together, because it's like it's kind of efficient. You can unblock, you know, find the energy blocks affecting all 3 of them, like liver 7, 8, and 9 right there around the knee and lower thigh. You know, and you can like comb through those points, comb outward, find the energy blocks, deal with those energy blocks, make them go away, you know, like get the beings out, melt the cords, melt the blocks, right? And then whoosh, they open up a lot better. And then too, you know, of course you can do direct unblocking of those energy blocks. And one thing, just a reminder, I've said this before, but not often. So like, okay, with this liver meridian, it goes upward, right? The direction of flow. So say this is liver 7, right? The point that you can see right there in the knee, that there are 2, liver 7 and liver 8 right there in the inner side of the knee, right? So say this is liver 7, just for example, right? So the flow goes this way up the meridian, right? So where are the energy blocks more likely to be? Are they more likely to be here or here? They're more likely to be here, because it's like it catches and just blocks up. Like, so like say there's guck in the flow, then it's like it'll just catch right before it goes into the chakra and build up. So you'll you know, if this chakra is blocked, you can unblock here too, but it's most likely going to just be piled up right here. So that's where it's a little useful to know direction of flow, because then you know exactly where the block is going to be. But you could just, if you don't know direction of flow and you want to heal one of your points, just say, okay, here are all the energy blocks impacting that chakra, right? But if you know direction of flow, you know literally they're right down here, which is kind of cool. So then if I'm unblocking 7, 8, and 9 all at once, the direction of flow is the same, right? So I know like right before 7, right before 8, and right before 9, that's where the energy blocks are. So I could circulate gold light through those blocks for 7, 8, and 9 all at once. But if I haven't done the energy blocks and the auras that are impacting liver 7, 8, and 9, then it's just going to be slower going to just zoom in right into these blocks. It's better to comb through and out, find the energy blocks and the auras that are sort of making it worse, and get rid of those first, because then a lot of times it'll be like whoosh, and there'll just be this liberating flow, and you'll have already cleared like maybe 3/4 of the blocks in liver 7, 8, and 9 points, just by doing that big energy block in your aura, clearing that out. Why? Because invasive energy comes through the energy blocks and it comes deeper and kind of holds the blocks in place. So you get rid of the bigger energy block in your aura, then the invasive energy can't come in that deep. And so it's just a bunch of blocks sitting there without external energy like pinning it in place. So then it either automatically clears at that point, or, you know, just a little more gold light would clear it. So that was explaining. So let's do now. I have a do. No, I don't have a do. That's odd. Oh, 1 sec. Doing the liver. Oh, funny. Liver. Doing the liver. I guess I'll have it explaining too for later. Don't want to put it there. All righty. So we're doing now. All right. So excited. So we'll start at the start of the liver meridian. Where? Okay. So the starting point, I don't have a close up of it, but it's right next to the toenail, the big toe. The big toe, maybe I should, whatever. So just imagine that liver 1 chakra right next to your toenail, your big toenail, and unblock it. And the biggest block there, most of the blocks are going to be right before. So if this is like liver 1, here's your big toe, here's liver 1. Right? Here's your big toenail, and here's liver 1, and the direction of flow is this way. So it's going to be right here, right before the start of liver 1, right before the start of your liver meridian, sort of pegged onto here. It's going to be where a lot of the blocks are. So we can unblock that first, but then we'll unblock all the liver meridian points in the ankle and the foot at once with the combing through the aura. There's just lots of gold light, melt away the blocks going into liver 1. And you can say to angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into these blocks, can you please recycle them? And then melt away blocks from people that are hooked into these energy blocks. Melt cords from people that are hooked into these liver 1 blocks. And wiggle your toes just for fun, because that's your big toe where the liver meridian starts. Okay, and then liver 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So you can see that in the diagram, sort of, mostly. Right, so right at the foot there, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Right, so you can see it. So 4 is in that ankle, that dot in the ankle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, so you got both feet, right? You got copies of both feet out in front of you, and then comb through liver 1, 2, 3, 4 points outward to the auras, astral and physical, and just hunt for like a big plate of blocked energy. And then you got that, and just say, okay, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this plate of energy, can you please recycle them? And then use gold light to melt cords going into this big chunk of blocked energy from cords from people. Just melt away the cords. And then you can just get ready, and you could blow up this block all at once, or you could just keep using gold light and it blows up by itself, melts away by itself. Just wiggle your toes a little, be in your toes, be in your feet. So again, now you can see the flow in liver 1, 2, 3, 4, that part of your liver meridian. Just see if you feel any more flow there. You want all these chakras to be unblocked enough so that there's good flow, and you want them to be sort of happy enough, unblocked enough and repaired enough so that they're actually generating energy. So not only do they just send the energy onward, but they're adding to the energy of it. That's sort of the dual function of all the chakras, is to circulate the energy, but also add to it, create more energy. So liver 1, 2, 3, 4. So comb through liver 1, 2, 3, 4 and outward to the physical and astral body auras through there. You're searching for like where there's a plate, a hard plate of energy that impacts those chakras. The liver 1, 2, 3, 4, comb outward, find the blocks. It could be several plates at once together. And just say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into these energy blocks, can you please recycle them? Deep breath. And then just gold light through this hard bunch of energy blocks, melt away cords from people going into these energy blocks. All the cords, just melt them away. And then just keep using gold light. You could blow up the blocks all at once, or you could just melt them with gold light. Gone. So that's liver 1, 2, 3, 4. Liver 5 and 6. We don't block those. They're in the lower leg right there. Liver 5 and 6, right up there. Liver 5 and 6. The lower leg. So yeah, I think we'll do, let's do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 all at once. So 5 and 6 are in the upper, the lower leg before the knee. And then 7, 8, and 9 are, you know, around the knee, and then the inner side of the knee and the inner thigh right there, right? So you see all of that in the diagram right there. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? So just comb through that part of the liver meridian. You want the liver meridian, you want all these meridians to be like red flowy tubes. Right? And just notice the blocks. You can kind of feel them with your, you know, hands. And initially you might be like, I don't feel anything with my hands, Janet. That's crazy. You know, but over time it can develop so that you're like, oh yeah, boom, 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 boom. I feel all those blocks. And again, since the flow is this way in this meridian, the blocks are going to be right before the chakra, not so much here. You can lift out the blocks all at once in liver 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks, lift them out, melt them away all at once. Lift them out, melt them away all at once. And again, your intention is healthy and gentle, right? You want to just be aware of and clear to the extent that's healthy and gentle to do right now, right? So liver 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, lift out the blocks, melt them away within those chakras, right? Lift out the blocks, melt away the blocks. Now, you could also, like we've been doing, comb through that part of the liver meridian and comb outward into the auras and find significant blocks that are impacting, you know, those meridians. So like significant, so comb through the meridians and outward. Those livers 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, comb through and outward, find a big block or series of blocks. And then say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into these blocks? Deep breath while your angels do that. And then run gold light through those blocks in your auras that are impacting liver 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And just keep running gold light so that you're melting cords from other people going into these blocks. And then you can blow up these hard plates of energy, these energy blocks, or you can just let them melt fully with the gold light from your hands. And just see, you know, those of you that can feel things right away, see if you can feel, are you more aware of your legs? Do you want to do a leg stretch or something? How are you doing? Couple deep breaths. So again, liver 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can just sort of feel the energy flow up your liver meridian right there. You notice any changes in the flow? Do that one more time. So we're combing through those meridians and outward through the auras, physical and astral, to find a significant, you know, plate of bunch of energy blocks. And that's what we're going to melt away. But first, just for less drama, just say, angels, if there's any invasive beings hooked into these blocks, can you please recycle them? Breath. And then gold light throughout these blocks to melt cords from people going into these blocks. Again, these are blocks in your auras that are impacting liver 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then just melt the blocks away or blow them up. And these meridians, they each help each other. So, you may feel adjustments or the need to stretch in, your shoulders, even though your liver meridian doesn't go up to your shoulders because your liver meridian cooperates with some other meridians that are in your shoulders or whatever. It's like there's all this sort of positive ripple effect, which is why your intention is healthy and gentle because of that ripple effect. You want it to be a good, enjoyable ripple effect, not like, oh, now I feel 1,000,000 blocks that I have. You want to just... keep things nice. Make it nice. So then now, liver 10, 11, 12, right, near the crotch there, in the very upper thigh and that sort of the crease between your leg and your hip. Excuse me. Should have muted that, sorry. Oops. Anyway, liver 10, 11, 12, right around that gentleman's anatomy. But don't think of his anatomy, think of your anatomy, right? Whatever that is. And that area. Think of the points, really. That meridian, liver meridian. So points 10, 11, 12, and also, the side of the body there, liver 13, and then liver 14. Kind of goes in more. It goes up and in. And maybe towards the end of the liver meridian video is nice for this. I don't know how nice for the end point. There, it's kind of, you see, how it goes, the last 2 points there, it goes sort of back to the side of your body, and then it goes up, more towards the front of your body. And again, it's the liver meridian is the bright green, the Kelly green color. So we'll go back to the diagram. Try to go back to the... Sorry about that. Okay. So, All right. Much better. All right. So liver 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, right? So 10, 11, 12, right around your the front. There's a word for that. Your pubis bone or something, maybe. So 10, 11, 12, right around there. 10, 11, 12. And then 13, 14. Up there. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Right? So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Home through. And 11, 12. And so we could do 10, 11, 12 all at once. Comb through 10, 11, 12 and comb outward to the astral and physical body, through the astral body and physical body, or find a major block that affects liver 10, 11, 12. And just surround it in gold light. Say, angels, if there are any invasive beings connecting to these blocks, can you please recycle them? Deep breath while your angels do that. And then gold light throughout that big chunk of blocked energy to melt cords from people going into those blocks. And then you can blow up those blocks or melt them with gold light fully. There you go. Okay, so again, comb through liver 10, 11, 12, comb outward, find the energy blocks. Angels, can you recycle any beings in these blocks? Melt the cords from people going to the blocks. And let the blocks explode. Okay. 13 and 14, liver 13 and 14, those final points, 13 and 14. You can comb through them and outward, find a significant energy block that's impacting those on either side. Right? So find a significant energy block on either side that's impacting liver 13 and 14. The angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into here? Melt cords from people going into those points. And there could be a lot of people that cord the blocks. Don't worry about who and why. And then just melt the blocks. Ah, good job. So, and then you can just, gold light through the meridian itself in that area, liver 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and just see how the flow is, if it changed at all, if you notice a change. And again, the job of these chakras is, and any of these chakras, is to keep the flow going, but also to generate energy. So is it unblocked enough, and is it generating enough energy? So check out liver 10, 11, 12 on either branch and just see, is it unblocked enough, and is it actually generating enough energy for you? All right. So we can, just as we wrap up the liver meridian work, we can do the video one more time, and I'll just keep it going. So you can, check out the flow in your liver meridian as we're doing it, as we're watching the video. Okay, so here we go. Wait, I want the beginning of it. So starting by the big toenail, right? So liver meridian. So just big red flowy tube. Check it out. Goes near your ankle, goes near the side of your inner part of your legs. Right there. Right by your knee, your thigh. It goes all the way up. Liver 10, 11, 12. Out to liver 13, and then up to liver 14. So comb through that whole route. All right, good job. Woohoo! How about that? So that's pretty fabulous. Good job, good job, good job. Woohoo! Oh my goodness. How exciting. Oh no, I still have that up. Do it again. Oh my God, how exciting. Okay. How amazing is that? Obviously, when you do liver meridian work on yourself, you don't have to take that long. You could freestyle it a little quicker than that if you want. Okay. So now what we're going to do So now, I already explained it in the intro. There's a whole section on it, clearing fifth layer blocks, explaining in detail, as usual. That I'm just gonna do now. So we're working the front of the fifth layer now. And we'll be clearing distortions. So, okay, I'm writing hearing and thought. Don't know if that's all going to be visible, but there you have it. So clear fifth layer of blocks for hearing and thought, impacting hearing and thought. So they're going to be in the front of your space, and energy blocks that make you mishear someone. And this is a lot of the impact of this is subconscious, telepathic, subconscious communication between you and other people on a spirit level, without words, without emails, without text messages. Okay, so just your fifth chakra is in your throat. You have two of them, astral and physical. One astral body, fifth chakra, one physical body, fifth chakra. This is the basic chakra shape, right? The color of, ideal color for the fifth chakra would be any kind of medium blue, medium to light blue. So you could, and the fifth layer, right? You have two fifth layers, one in your astral body aura, one in your physical body aura. So layers count out like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's like layers of an onion. They wrap all around you, right? And so you imagine your fifth chakra and you imagine your fifth layers. So you can imagine both together if you want. If you're feeling really geeky, you could imagine them separately and do both separate, but I'm not pulling that right now. So you have your fifth chakras and your fifth layers, and we're working the front. So the whole front, all the way down to your feet, whole front of your fifth layer. Right? So Akudal, here's your fifth chakra in her neck. Here's the front of her fifth layer everywhere. Right here. Right? That's all the front of her fifth layer. Okay. So just imagine big masses of energy blocks. In the intro, I called them, I likened them to floating islands of garbage in the ocean. So just find floating islands of garbage in your fifth layer in the front that cause hearing distortions on conscious or subconscious levels. And just say, angels, find a couple at once and work those at the same time, and just be like, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? And then melt away cords from people hooked into this junk. And then either blow it up all at once or melt it completely with gold light from your hands. And this is assuming you've already repaired your fifth chakra, because we repaired all chakras at once already. So your fifth chakra should be already repaired. So again, front of your 5th layer, comb through it, find floating islands of garbage, big, massive energy blocks that contribute to you hearing in a distorted way, consciously or subconsciously, and find a couple of those big floating islands of blocked energy. And the angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into all this junk? Keep breathing. And then go ahead and melt cords from people hooked into all this junk. And then go ahead and just let the blocks completely dissolve or blow them up yourself. You feel the urge to give yourself a little shoulder rub or something, or neck rub, that's fine. Your 5th layer, you know, technically there is part of it that is right over your shoulders and your neck, outward. You could find that part and look for blocks right there. And again, you know, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this junk, can you please recycle them? And then melt cords from people going into the blocks, like directly above and out from your neck and your shoulders in your 5th layer. Melt cords from people. And then blow up the blocks or melt them fully with gold light. So again, comb through the front of your 5th layer. We're looking for energy blocks that impact your hearing, that also, they end up impacting your thought as well, which is why I wrote hearing and thought. They impact you, how well you hear your angels. They impact, you know, just how you talk to yourself, which is your own thought. So you're combing through the front of your 5th layer, looking for floating islands of garbage or just collections of big energy blocks that impact how you think and how you hear others, including your angels. So find a whole bunch of those energy blocks at once and say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? Deep breath. And then melt cords from people going into all these blocks. And then keep using gold light. You could blow up the blocks or melt them all at once. Let them melt fully. And you may have some invasive beings that are just like fully offended at what you're doing because you're getting more present. Now you can imagine yourself and any invasive beings that are just having a problem with what you're doing. And just say, angels, can you recycle all these beings? Couple deep breaths. Okay, so that's the front. Blocks, and we're unblocking the front of your 5th layer. We can unblock like right directly in front too of your 5th chakra. So technically that would be in your 1st layer of your aura, not your 5th layer, but we'll sneak it in here. So right in front here. So just use lots of gold light there. You know, this space right here. First, like 2 inches in front of your throat chakra. 2-3 inches. And just comb through that. And just have gold light go through the energy blocks. Just say, angels, if there are any invasive beings pouring into these blocks, can you please recycle them? Breath. And then melt cords from people going into these blocks. And then blow up the blocks or let them melt fully with gold light. And you can just put your hands around your throat chakra and just see around your throat and just see how the back is doing, how's the front doing. The back of it feels weird. That could be a little bit of damage there. So do a little massage, unblock, repair with while physically touching the back of your neck. You want really good flow out the back of your 5th chakra, out to your 5th layer in the back. Okay? And then it wraps around and wraps around all the way. So it comes in the front, goes out the back, wraps around the front. Right? So it wraps around the front this way, it wraps around the front this way, from below, everywhere. So, okay, so then the back of your 5th layer. Okay, clear invasive messages you don't like. If you're hearing the invasive messages all the time consciously, then they would be in the front of your 5th layer most likely. But most of the ones that you've sort of stockpiled there over the years are probably in the back of your 5th layer. So let's comb through the back of your 5th layer. And again, back of 5th layer, what I mean is the 5th layer that's not the front of the 5th layer, right? So it's this whole, all the back of the 5th layer, right? Back of 5th layer. And just comb through there. Again, 5th chakras your 5th chakra generates your 5th layer, right? So physical 5th generates physical 5th layer, physical astral 5th generates astral 5th layer. Okay, so you're coming through both astral and physical 5th layers in the back, and find big masses of energy blocks that are from invasive messages that have been dumped in your space from other people, but you don't like them, but you didn't clear them, and so they're just shoved back there, right? So invasive messages you don't like that are still there in your space. The back of your 5th layer, just find a whole bunch of, like, a couple floating islands of garbage at once, and just run gold light through them and say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into all this junk? And then melt cords from people hooked into this junk. And then you can blow up these floating islands of garbage, or just let them melt fully with gold light. And feel free to massage the back of your neck if you want. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this process, can you please recycle them? Come through the back of your 5th layer of your auras. And have your hands sort of sense any, and if you can't sense with your hands, that's fine. Just use your intuition. And find a bunches of blocked energy that are invasive messages that you don't like, that you shove back there. And say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? And then melt cords from people going into this junk. And then blow it all up at once, or melt it away with gold light fully. Woohoo! So just comb through your 5th layer, get a sense of the flow of your 5th chakra. Is your 5th chakra generating enough flow? Like, you know, circulating the energy well enough? And is it generating its own energy enough? And just keep strengthening it with more gold light. Couple deep breaths. All right, good job, good job, good job. Woohoo! Hey, good job. Right. Mm. Okay, so I ideally would have done this part before the last part. So, because we already did work in the front to clear distortions for your hearing and your thought, front of fifth layers. And then we did the back, messages that you don't like, clearing those out, invasive messages that were dumped in your space that you don't like. But then communication, I want to especially do that also. And so those communication blocks typically are in front, because you're communicating to somebody by facing them on a spirit level, for the most part. And so the blocks that like sort of distort your communications. So say you mean to be respectful. This is a common example, actually. If you mean to be respectful, but you're kind of stuck, then the distortion blocks in the front may give your voice like a sort of a condescending tone or a pissy, judgy tone or something. And you might not know that because you're not aware of those blocks. You know that you've communicated and your intention was to be respectful and, you know, constructive or something, but it hits the distortion stuff and then it comes out being an insult to somebody. So let's clear these communication distortion blocks in the front of your fifth layer so that you are able to be more precise and accurate in your communications. You know, so there's not, you know, if you mean to be respectful, then it actually comes out of your auras sounding respectful. It doesn't mean that the person doesn't have hearing distortions, but at least then you've done your part, you know, without like shooting yourself in the foot and adding some sort of an insult vibe on it, you know, or whatever, you know. So so that's the idea. So we're clearing communication distortions from in front of your fifth layer. Let's do it. So so imagine the front of your fifth layer, right? All the way up and down by your toes and by your knees and all the way up. And comb through there, and you want to get a sense of the energy blocks and, you know, masses of them together. And like little floating islands of garbage, you know, and just find the ones that impact your communications, which really all the blocks probably in the front of your fifth layer would distort your communications. So just be aware of, you know, the amount that's healthy and gentle to clear right now of all those communication distortion blocks in the front of your fifth layer. And just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings plugged into these things? Take a couple deep breaths while your angels do that. And then melt cords from people going into these communication distortion blocks in the front of your fifth layer. And then go ahead and blow them all up or melt them fully with the gold light from your hands. They're not clearing. You can say, angels, can you help me clear these? So let's do more of that. So comb through the front of your 5th layer, and you know, if it helps you to like touch, you know, get a sense of your 5th chakra first, that's fine. Or if you just feel like, hey, I just want to massage my neck for a second before I do it. But comb through the front of your 5th layer and get a sense of all the blocks there that are healthy and gentle to clear right now. And say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this stuff? And then go ahead and melt cords from people going into all these blocks, these communication distortion blocks, front of your 5th layer. Melt all the cords, and then go ahead and you can blow up all the blocks or melt them with gold light fully. Couple deep breaths. Okay, so now we're going to do a visualization, sort of imagining, do a visualization, I guess. Redundant to say visualization, imagining. We're going to do a visualization to sort of test your work. Okay, and you can use whatever images you're comfortable with, maybe flowers, maybe balls of colored energy, whatever. But basically, you want to test, like, is what you mean to communicate what you're actually communicating? Which is testing, you know, is there communication distortion? Right? So that, like my example, if you mean to be respectful, does it actually leave your aura sounding respectful or not? So, and because some people are very sensitive to that and very intuitive, and they really pick up on subtleties like, you know, hierarchy, disrespect, all sorts of, you know, things. And so it's nice to be precise and accurate, you know, so that if you intend to be respectful, it actually leaves your aura as respectful communication. So let's say we'll test your work. You know, okay, so let's say you mean to communicate a certain way. Does it leave your aura that way, right? So look at how you want to communicate. Maybe it's like a certain flower, like, you know, this kind of flower, this flower right here that you see, you know, maybe, or maybe it's, you know, a colored ball of energy that's green, you know, and as it leaves your space, does it turn into a purple ball of energy instead? Or, you know, if it's like represented by this flower, then as it leaves your space, does it turn into like a big ball of black, you know, or does it turn into a, you know, a red flower instead or something, you know, and that's a distortion that you didn't intend, right? So and, you know, if you want to visualize it some other way, that's cool too. But, you know, so visualize what you intend to communicate. And then as it leaves your aura, does it change? Or as it leaves your aura and it's outside of your aura on the way to the other person, does it match? You know, does the flower that's leaving your aura, does it look the same and feel the same as the flower that you intended to create? You see? And if not, that's distortion. And you can imagine the baggage in the way that's distorting what you want to communicate and melt it away. So then, okay, so here's the flower of representing what you meant to communicate. And then as it travels out your space, so now it's outside of your space on the way to the person, does it look accurate to what you intended, or is it still different? And you can have invasive beings that are playing a role in distorting it. So you can line up any invasive beings that are distorting your communication. Say, angels, can you please recycle them? And then again, just check. And what maybe would be interesting too, because we've been clearing distortions, communication distortions for, at least 10, 15 minutes now. So you can look at, okay, well, several hours ago, before you got this healing, when you intended to communicate, say, a purple rose, what did it turn into by the time it left your space? Or whatever, however you want to imagine it. Did it, compare your communication distortion that you have now to the level of communication distortion you had hours ago. Like hours ago, if you wanted to say something, say you wanted to say it and it looked like a purple heart and it was leaving your space, what was it like by the time it left your space towards the other person? Was it a black heart? Was it a white heart? Was it, a car that's green? What was it? And so just look at the communication distortion that you had hours ago. Okay. And the communication distortion too, it's not exactly a one size fits all thing. Like there may be someone that you have more problems communicating with than other people. And because some of your communication distortion baggage really triggers when you talk to that person. Like say you have issues with male authority. So then, you have extra communication baggage that comes right to the forefront when you're trying to communicate to a male authority figure, for example, or a female authority figure. So when you're trying to communicate with your mother, or say a female teacher, or somebody that you feel is above you in a hierarchy and they're female, that baggage is comes to the forefront. So, but anyway, that's the general idea. So you can imagine like the person that you have the most communications problems with, and what are you intending to communicate to them, and imagine it as a flower or a ball of energy, and just so you get a sense of like, is it a pink flower? Is it, green? What is it? And then as it leaves your space, what does it change into? And if it's different and it's not exactly what you intended, then just imagine all the baggage that's distorting that communication and just melt it away. Baggage within you that's distorting how you communicate. So again, imagine, the person or people that you have the most communication issues with. Maybe they're your backlash people, right? And then imagine yourself. Don't do anything to them, but just imagine, okay, well, what do you intend to communicate with them? And just imagine it like a color flower. And then what actually leaves your space as far as your communication? What color flower is it then? And then that difference, that's the communication distortion, that you're not actually communicating in the way that you wanted to or you intended to, right? So then just imagine the baggage that's distorting your communication with these people, and use lots of gold light and melt it away. And if you have any invasive beings contributing to this distortion, just say, angels, can you please recycle these invasive beings? Couple deep breaths. Maybe, direct healing of your 5th chakra, massage your neck. Again, you can, be aware of your 5th layers straight out, your 5th layer straight out from your neck and shoulder. And just look for any blocks there. And say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into these blocks? And then melt away people's cords going into these blocks. And you can blow up the blocks or keep melting them with gold light fully. All right. Good job. So that was clearing communication blocks from your fifth layer, but then we did a whole, I'll make it a separate chapter where we tested your communication distortion by imagining, you know, images visually to see like, oh wow, that's weird. The pink flower turns into a black pile of yuck by the time it leaves my space. Just so you can test and be more aware, like, wow, there definitely is distortion, and you know, so you can clear it. All right, let's do some butterflies to celebrate. Hey, good job, good job, good job. Woohoo. Oh, and if you could give this live stream a thumbs up, and later as a video, if you could give it a thumbs up, it definitely helps. Helps YouTube to take things more seriously. take this video more seriously. Alrighty. Okay, so what we're going to do next actually could be an interesting follow-up to what we just did, clearing fifth layer blocks. Okay, so I discussed this in the intro. We will be unblocking meridian areas. So not just one meridian in particular, like we did earlier with the liver meridian, but an area. So for example, the first one we'll do is chest. So the chest meridian area. So there'll be chest, front biker shorts as a separate area, and back of torso as a separate meridian area. And it's a nice way to have boundaries. It's really good for boundaries, also for your body and your mind and your emotions and everything, but helps a lot with boundaries because the meridian area, for example, of the chest includes your auras in front of your chest. So just like we've been doing, you know, there'll be even more work, really. There'll be direct work on the meridians, unblocking them, but then even more than that, combing through your auras in front of there and melting away the blocks in front of your chest meridian. So it more quickly and efficiently opens up the meridians. Why? Because the blocks invite cords from invasive beings and invasive people, which then goes in further, which like presses in on all the energy blocks. So you get rid of those energy blocks in the auras, you fix more than half the problem. And then you just have to unblock without all that force and pressure coming at you. All right, so that was explaining. So now we will doing. That one. There we go. Okay, so So here you see the chest meridians, right? And that includes right here. Oh, let me get my camera. Yeah. Okay. So thanks for waiting. So chest points, all right here, including just below the third chakra. We could put that in. So everything that you can see right now, all those points, even the neck ones if you want. But definitely the ones right here, because see, like there are some that start right in your armpit, and start like the lung one, that dark blue one starts right up here. So there's a lot of good stuff right here. So we're going to unblock all that at once. So just comb through it, scoop forward, find a big plate of energy somewhere in your physical body or astral body or in front of there. So you have a copy out in front of you, scoop through the points and the meridians and find a big plate of energy, a bunch of energy blocks or a sea of garbage, whatever you want to call it, sea of floating garbage, and floating island of garbage. And say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? And then melt cords from people going into all these blocks in front of your test points. And once the cords are all gone, then just blow up all these blocks or melt them fully with gold light. Take a few deep breaths. Again, and you can do individual work too, like say the CV meridian. If my angels are, if I'm hearing my angels correctly, they're reminding me that CV17 is CV meridian is that midline, up the midline. In the diagram it's gray, but be red and flowy energetically. But CV, conception vessel meridian, right, goes straight up the midline. And if I'm hearing my angels right, and they're reminding me right, CV17 is the CV point that's right in the midline between the nipples. I love saying nipples. Just so ridiculous. But my inner child. It's very silly. So anyway, so midline between the nipples is CV17, I believe. And that point's really good to unblock. It's really cool. So you can just do that one all by itself if you want. I'm pretty sure I have this little thing on my, there we go. I can verify it. Yes, it is CV17. How nice. It says this point is located midway between the nipples. The point is useful for asthma, chest pain, breast pain, palpitation, acid reflux, indigestion, and anxiety. So good stuff to work, right? So that's CV17. So just you can imagine, and again, it'll be oriented this way because the meridian is this way. It goes straight up and down. CV is so simple like that, right? And so right just underneath CV17, that's where all the blocks are going to be. Not so much here, but right here, maybe binding around the whole thing too. So just melt away your CV17 blocks. And you can comb forward in front of CV17, find some big chunk of energy blocking, making trouble there, and just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this? And then blast away any cords from people. Well, maybe not blast, that might be dangerous. keep the blast within your space, but just melt away the cords going into this chunk and then blow up the chunk or melt it with gold light fully. So again, imagine CV17, that point between your nipples on the CV conception vessel meridian. Oh, such a dork. And you could use a gold bottle brush, you know, get the junk out. Angels, here you go. Another gold bottle brush. Angels, here you go. You might have hard objects stuck in there, you know, like spears going into the front of CV17. So if you do, just lift them out. Angels, here you go. Lift out the hard objects. Angels, here you go. Repair the gashes. And again, check for blocks at the base of CV17. And it could be sort of like a bottle cork. So lift out the cork of the bottle and give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. Lift out the cork. Angels, here you go. So then let's just do all chest points. Basically everything you see right there. Lift them out. Angels, here you go. Lift out the blocks in the meridians and points. Angels, here you go. Lift out the blocks. Healthy and gentle, of course, but only do what's healthy and gentle, but lift out the blocks in all these chest points and chest meridians. Lift them out. Angels, here you go. Lift them out. Angels, here you go. Do a little stretching if you want. Comb through all these chest meridian points and comb forward. Find big masses of energy blocks causing trouble. The angels can recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk. Deep breath. Melt cords from people going into all this junk. There could be a lot of cords going in. Use lots of gold light, melt all the cords. And then blow up the blocks or melt them fully with gold light. A couple deep breaths. Breathe into your toes. Breathe into your fingers. All right, good job. So that was unblocking chest meridians. So we'll do the others a little more quickly, I think. Oops. The biker shorts is the other area that I love talking about all the time, as you know. Love, love, love. So biker shorts. Okay, so then now that we know that area, it's the area covered by the biker shorts and the auras around that area. The front biker shorts meridian is a meridian area that we can unblock all at once. That's really useful to do. If I can find the darn graphic. There we go. So there we go. All those points that you see right there. And we did some of those. Remember that bright green line, the Kelly green line? That's the liver meridian that we just spent forever working on. So this is the front biker shorts meridian area. So just comb through all those meridians, comb outward in the auras, find a big mass of a whole bunch of energy blocks that are causing trouble for these front biker shorts meridians. So comb through, find the blocks. The angels can recycle any invasive beings cording into this junk. And then melt cords from people going into these blocks. And then once the cords are gone, just go ahead and blow it all up or melt it away fully with gold light. So one more time, comb through all those front biker shorts meridians, comb through, comb out to the auras, find a big mass of a whole bunch of energy blocks. Say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings cording into this chunk? And then melt cords from people going into this chunk. And then go ahead and blow it all up or fully melt it with gold light. And if you feel the need to stretch, that's fine. You can also, of course, do direct healing on this area pretty easily. Just put your hands, down by your hips and use lots of gold light. And you can do that, when you're watching shows or something, you can multitask that way. So those of you that say you don't have time to meditate, but you have time to watch Netflix shows, well, you could do both at once if you want without really trying. Just make your hand chakras do the work for you as you enjoy your show or whatever you're doing. So just a little bit extra on those meridians, direct healing on the meridians themselves. The purple one that goes upward is in this area is the spleen meridian. That dark green one that goes downward and then it goes over to the thigh and down. That's your stomach meridian. The one that's we see just a little bit there by the hip, that's your gallbladder meridian, which zigzags down the side of your body. Orange one, that's your kidney meridian, that's going up, that pair of orange lines that's very close to the center of the diagram. That's your kidney meridian going upward, which starts in the sole of your foot, which is kind of cool. And then, of course, the midline one, that's your CV meridian, conception vessel meridian, starts in your crotch, goes all the way up to your tongue. Okay, good enough. All right, good enough. So we may be close to the end. I think that we've done everything we needed to do. One more thing. So we'll do back points. We've done those several times now. I love this image. So we're unblocking all the points that you see there right now. And then also we don't really have to do up there base of skull because we already did that. So we'll just do all that you see right there and also all you see right here, the butt points, the urinary bladder meridian butt points, and that midline one, the governing vessel. So it'll be that, all that stuff and all this stuff. So yeah, so let's do it. Do it. Just comb through all the points that you see there. You could do the arm points too that you're seeing, but you don't really have to. I'm not going to do them. I'm just going to do the back points. The, you know, like back of shoulders, back, lower back, butt, all that. So comb through, melt away blocks as you're combing through the meridians. And then comb outward into the auras behind those back points and find a big masses of energy blocks. And say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this stuff? And then melt away cords from people going into all this stuff. And let it explode. So again, comb through all your back points, including the lower back stuff, butt. So all that back stuff, comb through it all. You could do direct healing on the meridians themselves, on those points, but going to be more effective if you spend more of your time combing through them and out to the auras and finding the energy blocks that are making trouble back there, affecting these points, the back points, and just the angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into these energy blocks? Deep breath, and then comb through all the blocks, melt cords from people going into all these blocks. And once all those cords are gone, you can blow up all the blocks all at once, or you can just let them melt fully with using gold light from your hands. And maybe just a teeny bit more direct healing on the meridians themselves, GV. Governing vessel meridian. Lift out the blocks in governing vessel meridian shown there and just melt them away. Gold light. Lift out the blocks, melt them away with gold light. All right, good enough. Woo! Yay! Good job. Okay, we'll do pretty much a similar wrap up to what we did 2 days ago. Let's clear STEBs, stubborn triggered energy blocks. So stubborn triggered energy blocks are blocks that are still needing to be cleared, that are bothering you, but that haven't cleared yet in this healing, even though we've gone on forever and done so much. So put any still stubborn triggered energy blocks out in front of you, put copies out in front of you, and bring up red earth energy from the core of the earth to soak them with red earth energy. Use gold light to melt cords going into them from other people or from you. Say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this junk, can you please recycle them? And lots of gold light. Just melt these blocks away. Or blow them up. One more time, put the STEBs out in front of you. Red earth energy Gold light. Angels, can you recycle any beings in the way? Melt cords. Blow up the blocks. Okay. Unprocessed stress pots. It's a metaphorical thing. You don't literally have pots in your space, but it represents your ability to just deal with what's coming, what new things that you can't like process instantly. You kind of have to put them aside just a little bit. And if you have put aside way too much already, then you're screwed. So unprocessed stress pots represents that sort of free space that's kind of like your workspace, you know, that stuff you haven't yet finished clearing. So imagine all your unprocessed stress pots and go ahead and empty them so that you're ready for new things, right? Just melt them with gold light, catch up on your processing of what you've been through, what you've experienced, what you've heard. Just, you know, say, angels, help me do this. So you're doing it in a gentle way, but just lots of gold light. Catch up on your processing so that your unprocessed stress pots are empty and ready for new things, new experiences. And if they're not melting away, just melt cords going into them from other people. And then they should empty more easily. All right, so that's emptying unprocessed stress pots. So then UGP stands for unmatched global pain. So what it means is you're clearing your blocks that are too similar to other people on the planet, like everybody on the planet, most people on the planet. These people get blocked up in very similar ways. And so if you're blocked up in the way that they're all blocked up, then you're kind of vibing with their pain. It's hard to have separation from their pain then if your pain is too similar to theirs. So unmatched global pain, you're clearing your pain only, but it's the stuff that's a little too similar to everybody on the planet, right? So put energy blocks out in front of you that you have. They're just yours, but they're way too similar to everybody else on the planet. And then say, angels, is it okay? Is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? So they'll get rid of something that's too much to do right now. And so that means everything that's still in front of you is good to clear right now. And so just, you know, bring up red earth energy, gold light, melt cords going into it from other people. And you could blow it all up or melt it away with gold light fully. One more time, put copies out in front of you, all the junk that you have that you're stuck on that's just a little too similar to everybody else on the planet. And just red earth energy, gold light, melt cords. Angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this stuff, can you please recycle them? And finish melting them all or blow them up. All right. So believe it or not, we are actually done with the healing. Woohoo! Good job. Good job. That was a giant healing. So if you're not doing that whole healing later as a video, you want to just pick and choose, just forgive yourself because that was pretty epic. That was like 3 healings at once. But I think it was healthy and gentle to do. I'm just saying, if you don't have the discipline to do it all on yourself later, it's okay. You can pick and choose. It will all be timestamped and have chapters within a day. So you'll be able to jump around as you wish. Okay, so now we will do the final chat. However, we'll have those disciplined guidelines that I didn't have before for today's chat, where if it's a newbie question, someone I've never read before, literally never worked with before, read before, then yeah, I will read a question if it's simple. I'll look at it and answer it. Otherwise, if I've read you before, just don't give me a reading question right now. If you have a comment about what I said, you know, literally a follow-up question on what I've talked about, the theme, etc., or a comment on how you're doing right now after the healing, that would be very interesting. So let's see. And the reason for this extra discipline is just to cut it short because this is already huge. Someone says, I think Lorenzo should create some Janet superhero pictures with blasting hand chakras. Yeah. I'm not going to ask him to do that. Part of the problem is because I don't like when people glorify me, you know, because it tends to be like, well, Janet can do this, but I can't, you know, so it turns into a disempowering thing for others. So that's why I wouldn't ask him to do that. But anyway, sounds cute though. Someone says, oh, yes, my husband. Indie Comics and Review. That's the name of his channel. So he's got this little bunny logo. It's actually a ninja bunny, which is one of his comic books. That's his logo there. So anyway, he says, yes, it's Black Adam #3. It came out about 2 years ago and is available at most places that sell comics. Yeah. Hopefully, there's a website, mycomicshop.com, which maybe you can find it there. The comic book is called Black Adam. I showed this image right at the start, when we started the healing, not the start of the live stream, but when we started the healing. The section will be called something like Unblock Hands and Forearms. But anyway, it's just a nice raw. I like that image because it's like, I am imagining it like gold light, you know, around the forearms and the hands, you know, just like, it's sort of a nice, powerful image of like, raw, I'm ready to heal myself. Raw. Alrighty. Someone says, Super Janet. Yeah. Someone says, found the Indie Comics place. Maybe you mean the website? Or I don't know, maybe you mean my husband's YouTube channel, Indie Comics and Reviews? I don't know what you mean. Someone says, hi, so last night I was noticeably upbeat and talkative, and today I woke up before my alarm and I went for a run in the freezing cold before work and have been very bold, talkative, upbeat all day. Wow. Good for you. That's cool. Yeah. I think the chest points, that section, is probably most responsible for that, but also the front biker shorts points, working those two areas, because we did that for the first time in the last healing, and we did it again today, and that your family tends to really try to get in those areas. So working those areas specifically, those meridian areas, chest points, and then front biker shorts, you could keep doing that, but I think that's why you got those results. So good for you. That's exciting. Someone says, hi there. Hello to you. Someone says, can you get blocked in the 5th layer / chakra just from being in the environment where people constantly talk nonstop? No. No. If you resist what they're saying, or you like your inner voice, your inner peace isn't strong enough, then, and you don't have strong enough boundaries, then maybe, yeah. But if people are just talking, I mean, your 5th layer is separate from them and their messages. And so your 5th layer, if it's clear enough and flowing enough and you enough, then you have the inner peace that you need. So it wouldn't block you up. Where people get into trouble is when they're around somebody and they don't like what that person is saying, and then they already have a lot of junk in their aura. That junk, you know, they become resistant, and the junk hardens, and then they're really stuck, and then, you know, invasive energies have an easy time coming in and messing with their own peace of mind and the functioning of their own thoughts. So that's the thing. But no, just being around people that talk all the time wouldn't do it. It's your resistance to that. Maybe you're matching their lack of grounding. You know, you're somehow matching them, and your own resistance is getting you more stuck, and then your boundaries are less, and so it's a little chain reaction. But the people talking a lot wouldn't necessarily be an issue. Someone says, so you could work your inner peace more. You know, just 5th layer stuff, like we did today. I do have a video. I think it's called Peace Now on YouTube. That might help with that if you like walkthroughs. It's made off an old audio recording I have on my website that you could download for no charge. Sometimes people need stuff, you know, that's like not on the internet because their internet goes down for hours at a time or something. So on my website, there are audio recordings that you can download, and then you just own them and you have them. So that's cool for if you're like that and you don't have access to the internet sometimes. But if you search Janet Wright Peace Now on YouTube, the second choice, the first choice is an ad. That has nothing to do with me. But the second choice is what I'm talking about. It's my video, and the title is Peace Now, Guided Meditation Helps Peace of Mind, Inner Peace, Grounding, Body Awareness, and Relaxation. So I will put a link to that Peace Now video in the chat right now for you. But if you just search Peace Now on YouTube, Janet Wright Peace Now, then you'll find it as well. Peace Now video, which is, how long is it? It's 13 minutes. So that could be another option to work peace of mind. This is when I talk to, and you mentioned your mother's name, what from this healing can we talk about? She said her hands were feeling pretty good after the last healing. She does not know that I buy the healings for her. So I'm not sure what you're asking. I mean, what from this healing can we talk about? I mean, some people just aren't consciously open to talking about anything like this, and which is why that, if on a spirit level they say yes, then you can purchase healings for them, because the spirit level subconscious part of them is way bigger a part of them than the conscious part. So if I ask them, do you want this healing? And they say yes on that level, then that's how, you pay for it, but then that's how I'm healing them, is because they said yes. But, that depends on consciously what she's open to. So I don't know, you're going to have to make that decision yourself. Yeah, I don't know. But we have been unblocking the hands. It used to be that I would just explain that, hand chakras, yada, yada. That was just like a little bit for newbies that I would explain. But now I just do let's unblock the hands as I explain, which then it's good for everybody, and I'm unblocking the hands and wrists of people that I'm talking to. So that's probably why her hands she can feel them a lot more now. But yeah, you don't necessarily have to say anything to her if you don't think you can wrap her brain around any of it. Not necessary. It's up to you. And up to what you think she'll handle. Someone says, booked a healing session with you. Oh, nice. Meaning, I hope you mean, because if it's me, I don't do one-on-one work. So you probably mean you purchased a set of group healings. Maybe the January twin set that's coming up on January 19th and 21st. That's my guess at what you mean. But of course, later I'll find out, because I will see what you bought. So that's cool. I'm happy to work with you. And, if I haven't worked with you before, feel free to, I mean, right now I actually do make people write their first and their last name as they purchase. But if you purchased more than like 2 weeks ago, then you didn't have to write your name as you purchased. So, you could email me, by the way, when I purchased, it didn't force me to put my name. So this is my name. Because otherwise all I see is your email address, unless people buy with PayPal. Then PayPal forces people to log in. But anyway, so feel free to email me, janet@jwhealing.com, to introduce yourself if you wish, if you purchased and I haven't worked with you before. At jwhealing.com is my email address. Okay, someone gives me cute emojis. Hello. Someone says, I was really pissed and angry before and during the healing. It's completely gone now after the distortion clearing. Isn't that cool? That's fun stuff. Well, good. You should probably repeat that stuff too. Keep doing that if you want. And you keep clearing, keep doing that distortion work that we did today. Someone says, thank you so much for the healing. During communication distortion, I was focused on the communication with my husband. You mentioned his initials. I noticed it went from pink to white, black. Then it gets to him. When it gets to him, wondering how it is now. Your husband, pink flowers as they leave your space. Because you want to just look at, in your space and then as it leaves your space. Because not when it gets to him, like when it's in his space. That's different. So, because then he could have communication, he could have hearing distortions. But, so say it's a pink rose, you intend to communicate a pink rose to him as it's leaving your space. When it's just outside of your space, it's now a white something else, like a white handkerchief. So yeah, there still is definite distortion that you could work on. Yeah, just so imagine the energy blocks that are distorting your communications to your husband. Which could be, communications having to do with, it could be baggage, lots of different flavors of baggage can cause that. And a lot of times that has nothing to do with him exactly. It has to do with men. It has to do with your experiences with men. It has to do with past lives, yada, yada, yada. But just keep, you can do that visual test and be like, nope, it's still way different. And just keep clearing your baggage that is distorting your communications with your spouse. Hope that helps. Someone says, thank you, Jana. I intently felt the 5th layer work in a good way. I was feeling hopeless last night before bed, and now I feel great. That's good. Anything I should focus on from this healing? Yeah, like the whole thing. I mean, it's a huge healing, though, so I don't know if you're motivated on that level. But to that extent, I mean, if I had to pick, so the main 3 things, aside from all the good 5 essential stuff, is the liver meridian stuff, and then all the 5th layer work, clearing out communications you don't like that you stuck in the back, invasive communications you don't like that you stuck in the back, and clearing out communications, hearing, and thought distortions, mostly from the front of the 5th layer. And then there's the meridian areas, unblocking the meridian areas, which includes in front of the meridian, chest, front biker shorts, and back. So, I mean, if we just ranked those for you, and for those of you not asking the question, just rank them yourself, so which is most important for me to redo? Is it the liver meridian stuff? Is it the 5th layer block stuff? Or is it the meridian areas, unblocking the meridian areas? Probably unblocking the meridian areas for you is the biggest thing. So if you only want to deal with one thing, like we worked with so much today, oh my God, Janet, just redo the meridian areas. So the back, chest, and front biker shorts. If you're a little more motivated, you want to do something extra. Is the liver meridian more key for you to redo, or the 5th layer blocks? Probably the 5th layer blocks. There's and the communications that you don't like back there, there's still plenty for you to clear back there in particular. Okay. Mrs. Thanks, Janet. I feel a little mixture of anxiety and depression during the healing. Not sure why. Felt a little mixture. Well, I'm curious if you still feel that, because that's important to know. That's part of the question. But probably your grounding blocked up a little, and like a block right in front of your 4th layer. If you fourth chakra, chest, right, and right in front there, 4th layer in front of the 4th chakra. There's kind of a significant chunk of blocked energy right there. So, just angels, can recycle beings hooked into it, melt cords from people, and pour it into it, and then blow it up. So keep blowing up 4th chakra blocks, anything from right up against your 4th to like out here in front of your 4th layer. Keep pulling those up. And then your grounding right now is fine, but at the time your grounding was a little more blocked. Yeah, it was just some blocks that got triggered. 4th chakra blocks, 4th layer, 4th chakra. This is, hi, Janet. I think my daughter was in this set. How did she do? She is still having a hard time with only being with me 50% of the time. She's with her dad the other 50%. Yes, she did get the healing. She does great. Kids do great with these healings. Like that's pretty much hard for a kid not to do great. I mean, some kids are like uniquely stuck and I have to keep a little bit of extra pay attention on them, but most times that's not the case, and kids they're just naturals with it because they don't have the adult sort of buildup of angst, and yeah, they're just more open to this kind of thing. So she did great. So anyway, you mentioned she's having a hard time only being with you half the time. Yeah, you could look up because she's pretty young. You know, she's 6, I think, ish, at least. And so you could look up because there could be like, you know, I know with brain development, like there are some ages where the brain doesn't really acknowledge things that aren't like right in front of you right then and there. And so if the object is like in another room, it doesn't exist anymore to that person. So if she's in that age range where the brain is like that, then I guess there's not as much you could do about it. Maybe you could give her a bracelet that represents, you know, like kind of like a friendship bracelet, but a mommy daughter bracelet, you know, and you guys could make it together maybe. And she's always wearing it so that it's sort of like it's always there. So, and just, you know, remind her that, you know, your love for her is always there. You know, you always love her, even if you're in a different room, even if you're in a different building, even if you're 10 minutes, 20 minutes away, you still love her. And there's still all that, you know, the friendship, the love, the mom daughter thing is still there, you know, and you might have to kind of make that more second nature to her. So that she can, you know, maybe with a bracelet, something like that. Yeah, hope that helps. Someone says, thank you. You're welcome. Someone says, hi, Janet. Thank you so much. How am I doing post healing? Anything I can work on? Thanks again. Well, I will keep it to the healing. Liver Meridian, actually, your angels do think that would be fun for you to keep working. So yeah, they'd like you to keep working on the Liver Meridian. The way we did it, you know, where you also work the auras around it. They like that for you. Someone says, hi, Janet. Thank you for the healing. Do you have any suggestions on what I can do to make progress on clarity with work? Yeah, because of the guidelines that I was talking about for the chat today, I'm going to just totally bypass that question. Because you're not a newbie, obviously, and I read you a lot, and I'm trying to save time. So if you still have a question after you give it to your angels and think about it and work yourself, then you could post it under a video at any time. And when I have time, I will post a reply. Someone says, that was phenomenal. Thank you. I've not had a healing like that in a while. Well, good. I'm glad. I don't recognize your YouTube name, so maybe you weren't in the healing, but maybe I'm not familiar with your YouTube name. So you could email me if you want, janet@jwhealing.com, which is right down here, and just remind me what your real first and last name is compared to your YouTube ID, so I know. But you know, if I haven't, like, if you didn't purchase healing for me ever in your life, that's totally cool. You're super welcome to watch anyway. But if you want, then you could email me and say hi. Up to you. Someone said, love the simplicity of the meridian work. Yeah, meridian areas, chest, and the auras in front of it. Yeah, I like it too. Significant work done, so simple. I feel the lightness in aura around it. Would this help me to hold my presence and fitting my ultimate goal? Awesome work. I felt the lightness in my aura around it. Would this help me to hold my presence and lifting Yeah, I don't know if there was a question in there, but I'm glad you loved it, and I love it too. All right. Sorry I tuned in later and the healing and didn't hear the part about live chat guidelines. Yeah, I understand. Someone says, I feel surprisingly focused, even though it's bedtime for me now. I can hear, yeah. So if you need to turn off your Kundalini so you can sleep, you know, if it's that time of day for you, you know, feel free. Your Kundalini chakra is below your first chakra. So just be like, okay, I know I feel fabulous, but it is bedtime, you know, so turn off your Kundalini chakra and then, you know, let your body kind of power down for sleep, you know. Your Kundalini chakra is the energy center below your first chakra, and it needs to be turned off. Just that one chakra needs to be turned off for sleep, so it doesn't send Kundalini up your spine and give you that great feeling. But anyway, that's cool that you feel so good from the healing. I'm glad to know that. You're saying, I can even hear my own thoughts more clearly, and that's huge for me. Thank you very much, Janet. Yeah. That's funny because you would think hearing your own thoughts is like a default automatic thing, but it's not really. You can hear just negativity or, you know, whatever. But to be able to actually, you know, clearly have your thoughts is a beautiful thing. All right, well, cool. So that's a healing. I hope you guys enjoyed it. The healing part itself was pretty long. But I think it was healthy and gentle anyway, so that's good. So this concludes the triplet set, the January 2025 triplet set. And I'll be sending out a survey to the people that purchased the healing that I healed. There'll be a survey email going out by late tonight so that you can fill out the survey tomorrow at the earliest. But I won't be checking what you say on the survey most likely until just a few days before the next set. And the next set is on the 19th and the 21st, which is the January twin set, available for purchase on my website. So all righty. So I'll take my email address off because you've all seen that already, and just leave my website. Okay, so Izzy is our dog. We just have one now. Others are now angel dogs. They're in spirit form only. But anyway, so Izzy is snoring right near me. It's so cute. I'll try to get the microphone close to him, but I don't know how easy that'll be. So first I'll just show the flowers. That's much easier. So there you go. Flowers. They're pretty cute. I did not grow these or anything. It's in the middle of winter here, so I just bought them. All right, and then I will try to. First, I'll just show him. I might try to. I don't think I'm going to try to move the microphone. This is a pretty expensive microphone. I don't want to hurt it. So I'll just move the camera. So that's my dog, Izzy. He's snoring, looking cute. And that's a big bag of soil because I'm supposed to pot up a whole bunch of plants, but I haven't been doing it. Anyway, he's looking pretty cute. Snoring away peacefully. Okay, guys, you're amazing. I hope you have a good whatever's next, morning, afternoon, evening. Let's close out with some confetti because I'm addicted to confetti. All right. Woohoo! You're amazing. Great job. Happy New Year. Bye.